Here's what's happening now. We are slowly getting this rain out of here, but it is going to be coming back for the holiday weekend. We'll look at that coming up. Paula?
My conversation today with Dr. Mae Jemison, an American hero and a lady astronaut.
All right, Paula, also first at 4, the search for Danielle Stizlicki. Her parents talk exclusively to Local 4 about their painful ordeal. But up first, a convicted serial rapist in court. Some of his victims talk about what he did to them before the judge hands down the sentence.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sandra Ali in for Karen Drew today. First at 4, we start with the sentencing of a serial rapist. A Redford Township man convicted of several sexual assaults across Metro Detroit will likely be spending the rest of his life in prison. 33-year-old Ike Smith was facing a long list of charges in Allen Park, Dearborn, Inkster, Garden City, and Redford Township. Back on May 1st, he pled guilty to all charges. Today, he came face to face with some of his victims who say they still have nightmares about the night they were assaulted.
People don't talk about the times where he shows up in the middle of the night and nobody's there. But you can feel it, you can hear it, and you wonder if you're going crazy.
Smith will now spend the next 55 to 80 years in prison. While he did not make any statements, on his way out of the courtroom, he did curse at the judge in open court. Lucky for him, the judge just waved him out of the courtroom. On the city's west side, a robbery spree ended in a shootout with police early this morning. We're told a group of teenagers robbed a victim out on the street and then robbed a woman inside the CVS pharmacy at McNichols in Wyoming. After police arrested one of the teens near the pharmacy, they got into a shootout with one of the other suspects, a 16-year-old boy who was shot. His condition not clear right now. Meantime, police say there may be a third suspect still on the run. Detroit police investigating a bizarre case that's left a 2-year-old girl in critical condition. Here's what we know so far. Police telling us a man approached a car on the east side of Detroit and threw a brick at that car. This happened at the 75 Service Drive in East Warren. That brick smashed through a rear passenger window, hitting a young girl in the head. Our Sean Lay is gathering more information on this case. He'll have a live update for us tonight starting at 5 o'clock. Nearly 6 months after their daughter went missing, the parents of Danielle Stizlicki still aren't giving up hope. They spoke exclusively with the Local 4 defenders about their ordeal. Their 28-year-old daughter was last seen leaving her job in Southfield. That was back on December 2nd. There have been several search parties and more than $130,000 so far offered as a reward, but she still hasn't been found, and it's been very tough on her parents.
The logical mind in the process, the outcome for Danielle is not good.
There's all different ways that people pass, but the not knowing, the unresolved, it's very difficult.
Farmington Hills police say they continue to make progress on the case. Karen Drew's exclusive is one of the top stories on clickondetroit.com today. You can see it on the Defenders page. The day got off to a gray and pretty rainy start today, and we're hoping that rain will clear out at least before the night is over. Let's go ahead and take a look outside. Ben Bailey has the first forecast. We're hoping, Ben.
Yes, Sandra, we're trying to get this stuff out of here. It's just taking its own sweet time. But the good news is there's not a whole lot of moisture out there. The stuff that's still falling is light rain and really in some cases just drizzle. And it's mostly on the east side. You can see a lot of it here along 94 between the city and Port Huron. These are going to be the last places to dry out as everything slowly starting to rotate back to the east. I think by sunset tonight we should be pretty much in the clear. Want to show you the holiday weekend as we got it upcoming here at a glance. 77 on Saturday is going to be our warmest of the stretch and our only completely dry day. There will be chances of rain both Sunday and Monday. We'll talk timing on that and of course tell you what's to come sandwiched in there for Friday for those folks who are going to be on a 4-day holiday weekend. That's coming up in a few minutes. Sandra.
All right, thank you, Ben. It's another legal setback today for President Donald Trump's revised travel ban. The Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals has now upheld a lower court ruling blocking that ban. It's the first appeals court to make a ruling. The proposed ban would suspend new visas for people from Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. Legal challenges, as you may know, have kept the executive order from being implemented. The administration will likely appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. President Trump has ordered the Justice Department to find out who was behind recent intelligence leaks following the Manchester terror attack. Trump's statement comes after photos were published by the New York Times showing evidence collected from the bombing scene. On Monday, a bomb went off at an Ariana Grande concert, killing 22 people and leaving dozens of others hurt. The report has caused British officials now to say they will no longer share information about the attack with the U.S. President, Trump now calling the leak deeply troubling. Developing overseas, 2 more people have been arrested in connection with that deadly attack in Manchester. Since then, British police have raided multiple homes suspected of links to the bombing. So far, 8 people have been arrested. And right now, as of this point, Britain's terror threat level remains at critical. As the frantic investigation moves forward, the people of Manchester continue to grieve and try to comfort each other. Today, a national moment of silence. The mayor led this tribute in St. Anne's Square in Manchester. Police stood outside Parliament in London, a country standing together in solidarity. As President Trump continues his trip overseas, he's now calling out NATO leaders for not paying their fair share on defense spending. The president's comments came during the unveiling of a memorial dedicated to 9/11 victims at NATO headquarters in Brussels. The president said 23 of the 28 member states owe massive amounts of money to U.S. taxpayers.
This is not fair to the people and taxpayers of the United States. And many of these nations owe massive amounts of money from past years.
After delivering his speech, the president was walking with a group of NATO leaders when he appeared to push aside one prime minister. That video quickly went viral on social media. When asked about the incident, White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer said he had not actually seen the video. Shifting gears now from politics to education, an American hero comes to Metro Detroit to inspire young women and girls. In fact, she was the first African-American woman to travel in space today. And today she encouraged a group of young women to reach for the stars. Our Paula Tutman found some familiar faces there in the audience.
How many people get to wake up and say they're going to have a conversation with an actual astronaut? Dr. Mae Jemison has a micro-focused view of the Earth that truly she could see from space.
At the heart of science are the words, I think, I wonder, and I understand.
Dr. Mae Jemison has always known dreams can come true. As a little girl, she always dreamed of going to space. She didn't know how she would do it or when, but she has always somehow known and been certain that she would, despite some naysayers.
And so the dean told me I'm just going to be really sad in 10 years or so when all of my peers were ahead of me.
In 1992, her endeavor became a reality as she boarded the space shuttle Endeavour as the first African-American woman in space.
When I looked down at this planet from space, I saw this thin, shimmering blue layer of light. That's our atmosphere. It's absolutely gorgeous. When you look at the Earth, it's like it iridesces from within.
Today, feet firmly planted on Earth, she talked to other young women about following their dreams at an event sponsored by the women's business group Inforum. Hanging on to every word, members of the Mercy Storm robotics team. We first introduced you to this all-girls team earlier this winter as they work towards a repeat at the International Robotics Competition.
Everything that she said, we can relate to. It really just reinforces everything that we've been learning throughout our entire journey through robotics.
But Dr. Jemison didn't just talk science, technology, engineering, and math, or space. She talked life.
These days, we're full of platitudes, and people say things like, you can do anything you want to do. I am never going to be able to sing like Shirley Bassey. Let's just get that over with. So I want to do it, but I'm never going to be able to do it because that was a particular talent she has. That's not true about science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Some people may have more aptitude for it in certain ways, but we can all learn how to do that. And children will live up or down to our expectations. So if we expect them to be able to accomplish things, they will.
You have an opportunity to choose the person you want to be. You may not have exactly the job title that you want, but you always have an opportunity to choose who you want to be and where you want to be.
You know, I think the biggest takeaway was perhaps not really micro-focus on what you want to do, but who you want to be. That seemed to be the biggest thing that resonated with the young women who were in the audience. Paula Tutman, Local 4.
Strong message. All right, thank you, Paula. AAA says 1.2 million Michigan residents will take a trip, a Memorial Day trip this year. Before you hit the road, we have some new safety information about the cars you drive. Find out who needs to be extra careful out there. Plus, also ahead, one woman says, "Not my car." See the rest of this video and find out what made this woman even angrier as she tried to stop a carjacker. But up first, the congressional candidate versus the political reporter. The confrontation everyone's talking about, and one of these men is now facing criminal charges.
Worldwide.
A candidate for Congress is now coming under fire all across the country after being charged with assaulting a reporter. In fact, there is tape from the confrontation.
The last guy did the same thing. You were the Guardian?
Yes, and you just broke my glasses. You just body slammed me and broke my glasses.
Get the hell out of here.
If you'd like me to get the hell out of here, I'd also like to call the police.
That alleged assault was recorded in Montana by Guardian reporter Ben Jacobs, who says he was body slammed while asking Republican candidate Greg Gianforte a question about health care.
I've spent a lot of time reporting on Capitol Hill, a lot of time asking politicians questions about health care, and it's never ended in any sort of altercation.
Gianforte released a statement claiming Jacobs was the aggressor. Today, many top Republicans, including House Speaker Paul Ryan, called for Gianforte to apologize. The incident was also witnessed by a Fox News crew, which supported Jacobs' claims. Just in time for Memorial Day travel, a brand new report taking a closer look at car safety. It's information that will give many drivers extra incentive to try to be careful on the roads during the busy summer travel season. Before you shop around for your next car or hit the road this summer, think about safety. Experts warn deadly traffic accidents tend to rise during summer road trips.
A lot of people driving more at night, driving more on roads that they're not familiar with, and those are riskier types of driving.
Chuck Farmer and colleagues at the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety examined driver fatalities between 2012 and 2015. The smallest cars had the highest death rates.
If you run into something bigger than you are at a big disadvantage, and you're more likely to be severely injured, you're more likely to be killed.
11 vehicles had 0 driver deaths during the study period, including the Audi A6, Toyota Tacoma double cab, Jeep Cherokee, Mazda CX-9, and Mercedes-Benz M-Class. The study findings mirror what researchers have found in crash tests. Larger vehicles tend to be more protective. Whatever vehicle you drive, experts offer a simple reminder: slow down. Your vacation destination isn't going anywhere.
By the way, too many cars have the worst driver fatality rates in the new study. The report put the Hyundai Accent and the Kia Rio at the very bottom of that list. Well, we need to be extra careful on the roads when it's been raining like this.
Yeah, today is not going to win an award at any stretch of the imagination.
I think we're ready for a break.
We're going to get one, a short one, that's coming up here towards the end of the work week, but it is just blah out there right now. We've got low clouds, still have a little bit of drizzle hanging out on the east side especially, and temperatures at 61 degrees, so well below what we would average out in this part of the day, which is about 72. Winds are out of the north-northwest at 10, and the pressure still on the low side, but that low is eventually going to bring everything out here. A couple shots of the poppy grove out in Plymouth in the rain. So maybe some of those poppies weren't so happy about it, but it's still a beautiful picture. Thank Maria on Storm Pins for sending us that. We've got upper 50s here in our north zone, generally low 60s across everything south of there. And we will be warmer tomorrow once we get this entire system out of here. You can see this counterclockwise rotation just slowly starting to lumber out, even though there's another sort of slug of moisture that's pushing back to the northwest. A lot of that's going to stay north of us. So do expect to see some drizzle continue at least for about the next few hours, but once we get to sunset and beyond, that's when we're looking at dry conditions. That's going to continue into Friday, dry until we get to Friday night. See this low that's going to be skating just to our south. It's going to be close enough to give us an overnight shower Friday night going into Saturday. Could be lingering into very early parts of Saturday, but generally dry conditions on Saturday. And then the rain starts ramping back up on Sunday. So we've got 2 of the 3 days of the holiday weekend where we will be seeing showers, but it doesn't look like any of the 3 are going to be a complete washout. 54 tonight. That rain coming to an end again this evening, and we'll keep the winds on the light side. Here are the high temperatures tomorrow. Warmer now that we're going to get the rain and some of the clouds out of here. Just a little bit of a mix of sun and clouds in the afternoon. That'll take us to 72 in the city. South zone temperatures generally in the 70s with slightly cooler numbers out here towards the lake. 68 in Luna Pier and Monroe. Everybody else mid 70s, especially out in Lenawee County. West zone highs tomorrow. Low 70s, maybe upper 60s here towards Genesee County. And north of M59, we're looking at temperatures generally in the mid to upper 60s, slightly cooler numbers out here in Lexington at 59. So we've got the weekend heading our way, and we will see that 77 on Saturday, which is the warmest of the 3-day stretch. Sunday will be the best chance of rain, even though we will have some showers around on Monday. A lot of those are going to be in the afternoon, and they'll be scattered. So you'll still have time to get some outdoor activities in, but pretty unsettled as we start next week. Cooling back down and at least keeping shower chances through Wednesday before we start ramping back up in the Thursday of next week. Sandra?
All right, Ben. Trending stories are coming up next, including some black sand on a Michigan beach. We're going to tell you what experts are saying about some surprising new photos. But up first, a trip to the gas station turns into something much more terrifying. This woman shares what was going through her mind when she did this. But first, as we head to break today, here's your look at how the markets have closed for the day. We are back now with this video here of a woman just determined to stop a carjacker. The whole thing caught on surveillance video. This happened at a gas station in Milwaukee. Look here, you can see the Cadillac pull up while she's pumping gas. Well, a guy slides into her car. She jumps on the hood trying to stop him from getting away. Melissa Smith says she knows this wasn't the safest idea, but she was thinking about how much her car cost, and the would-be thief made her really very angry.
He was laughing while I was on my car and he was trying to throw me off. So zero remorse.
So dangerous. Lucky for her, though, the carjacker gave up, jumped out of the car and drove off. She's doing okay, but the thief did get away with her phone, her purse, also her wallet. In today's trending stories, I'm not really sure what's going on in China, but I'm going to show you another heart-stopping video involving a child and a car. You want to keep a close eye on this part of your screen right here. This happens very quickly, too. Watch this here. A car suddenly runs over a child who was playing on the sidewalk. And here's another look. This is just unreal. Witnesses rushed over. They rescued the boy from underneath the car. Amazingly, he only suffered cuts and bruises. By the way, if you've been paying attention, you know this is the 3rd recent incident like this in China. So glad that little boy is doing okay.
Third one that's been caught on camera. How many more have happened that we haven't seen?
That's actually a really good point. And you know, they have cameras everywhere,
yes.
So they're capturing a lot of these. Very strange to see that little boy there playing on the sidewalk like that all alone.
Not long before it happens here, too, I'm sure.
So scary. Well, here at home, if you are walking down a Michigan beach this summer and you see something like this right here, definitely don't be alarmed. A Metro Detroiter sent this photo of black sand. This is on a beach actually near Holland, Michigan, and the viewer actually sent it to Click on Detroit. Our team did a little bit of digging and found the black sand is likely a magnetic mineral that's been known to pop up around Lake Michigan. The DNR would now have to do some testing to try to confirm that, but says it's most likely that seems to be a reasonable explanation. And you can read more about it on our website, clickondetroit.com. Have you ever heard of that before?
It happened, I think, before in the late 90s when the lake levels were high and the water was washing up against some rocks that normally it doesn't wash against. So it's not oil. I guess that's the important thing to point out.
Well, I guess we should have come to you for the answers first, right?
Well, maybe.
Thanks, Ben. Still ahead first at 4, a tough New Jersey cop showing off his softer side and also earning a new nickname as well. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Make it an